Right now at 9, a fire breaks out at a duplex on Joplin's east side. We'll have the latest. Plus, we're heading to a poker chip run hosted by the VFW Post in Carthage. Also, the Pittsburgh Farmers Market hosts a 4th of July salsa contest. And as millions of Americans head out of town for the holiday weekend, they're running into obstacles getting from here to there. You're watching the KOAM News at 9, and it starts right now. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Chris Warner. Breaking overnight, a fire breaks out at a duplex on Joplin's east side. Officials say just before midnight, a passerby saw flames at a duplex in the Joplin Housing Authority complex at 409 South Ozark. When fire officials arrived, they found heavy smoke and flames showing. No one was home at one of the duplexes. However, emergency responders rescued a wheelchair-bound resident from the other duplex. Fire marshal has been called to investigate the cause of the fire. However, officials say it appears the fire started in the shared attic space above and spread between the two units. Monet police are investigating an unattended death. Officials say Thursday evening they were called to the 100 block of West Nelly in reference to two deceased subjects. When officers arrived, they found 71-year-old Daniel Olson and his spouse, 64-year-old Tamra Olson, dead inside the home. The incident is under investigation by the police department. Police say there is no sign that there's any danger to the community. Temperatures on the rise across the area, as are some rain chances. Nick Kelly joining us.
On the plus side, though, Chris, the rain chances did help us out with temperatures. We were pushing, I think, at least mid-90s the other day. The numbers from Joplin Regional, though, had us starting quite mild at 75, but only topping out at 92 today, so that is a bit of an improvement, even though it was still a bit of a hot day across the region. Back at 8:38, we were keeping an eye on some widely scattered storms on the Skywatch storm tracker, and this is going to be the overall trend as we continue throughout the rest of the nighttime hours and even going into tomorrow, because our stationary front still parked right on top of the region. That's the same front, by the way, that gave us some morning scattered thunderstorms, especially in the northern parts of the viewing area. So this is something that we'll watch as we go through the overnight. Just widely scattered storms, nothing too potent, but the strongest can't rule out some heavy rainfall and maybe some minor wind gusts and small hail to go along with those. Lows drop back near 73. I'm thinking a little break around the midday, then some additional widely scattered storms for tomorrow afternoon, Chris, with highs from 92. We're going to trend drier by the forest, but we're going to really heat things up going into next week. We'll break down the numbers here in a bit.
All right, Nick, thank you. The Combat Vets Motorcycle Association is hosting their annual poker run. The goal is to raise money for local veterans and VFWs. Poker run will consist of 5 stops from Goodman, Knoll, Seneca, Joplin, and then ending in Carterville.
These individuals knowing that we're doing this to help veterans out, whether it is someone needing a warm meal or help with putting shingles on the roof or helping get moved, we've done that.
For more information on this story, you can check out our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. The Parsons Historical Society has added another piece to tell the story of the city. Today they held a ribbon cutting celebrating the grand opening of the Farm Heritage Museum. The museum has farming equipment dating back to as far as the 1800s. There were more than 100 people in attendance.
Well, anytime you see a turnout like this, you can tell that the people loved what you've done. And I mean, if nobody would have showed up, you knew that screwed up. But as it is, the turnout here, I would say there's probably well over 100 people here.
The Farm Heritage Museum is now the 3rd museum of the Parsons Historical Society. Pittsburgh Farmers Market is starting off this 4th of July weekend by bringing a salsa contest and some live music. Around 8 a.m. they started the salsa contest, and from 10 till noon they had some live music. Vendor items range from jewelry to produce and even some meat.
Incredible. As you can tell, all of our vendors sold out almost, which is great because they even brought extra today. And it was just good for everyone. Everyone enjoyed the salsa contest and the live music.
Pittsburgh Farmers Market is located at 119 East 11th Street. Tens of millions of Americans are looking to head out of town this July 4th holiday weekend, but getting from here to there turning into a test of endurance as hundreds of flight cancellations and delays frustrate airline passengers. And the timing could not be worse, with air travel expected to set a pandemic-era record. Fox News correspondent Alexis McAdams has that story from New York City's LaGuardia Airport.
Millions of people flying this holiday weekend, leading to major delays, and the tickets are not cheap either. At least $200 for the cheapest ticket and counting, and that doesn't even mean you're going to get on the plane.
For 1:30 I'm supposed to leave, and they've delayed it to 3 p.m. already today. So I don't know if I'm going to get out or not on time. I brought my laptop charger. I may be hanging out here for a while.
As of Saturday afternoon, there were more than 3,000 delays and over 600 cancellations, according to FlightAware. Nearly 2.5 million travelers nationwide passed through airport security on Friday. It was the first time since before that pandemic that TSA has screened so many people. The surge comes as airlines struggle to keep up. Travelers feel like they are getting the bad end of the deal. And if things weren't bad enough, Delta pilots hit the picket line, fed up after they say they've clocked in record amounts of overtime.
We're hoping the plane is there when we're ready to get on it, or there's a pilot to fly it so that we can get out on time, because we got to get back and get back to life.
To try and curb the delays, Delta trying to persuade people to travel after this holiday surge, offering to waive all change fees. Also, the question that Delta is asking passengers right now is, how bad do you really want to get on that flight? Just the other day, according to reports, Delta offered passengers $10,000, yes, $10,000 in cash, according to those reports, to switch flights and fly at a later date. The guy in the report said he didn't take the money, but that doesn't mean other people wouldn't have taken that money and left the airport after waiting hours in line. At LaGuardia Airport, I'm Alexis McAdams, Fox News.
We take this time now to honor one of our many four-state heroes. Sergeant Frank Portwood served in the Army during World War II in France and Germany. His hometown, Mulberry. We're proud to recognize Sergeant Frank Portwood, tonight's four-state hero. And of course, if you'd like to learn more about our other heroes or nominate one of your own, you can do that anytime at KOAMNewsNow.com. After the break, how a giant snail has sent a Florida town into quarantine. The giant African land snail is back after being eradicated from the Sunshine State last year and is now wreaking havoc in a different part of Florida. And now folks in one central Florida town are under quarantine. Late last month, the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services confirmed the presence of the snails in the Newport Richey area of Pasco County. The fist-sized critters carry a parasite that causes meningitis in humans. They are described as one of the most damaging snails in the world and are illegal to import or possess in the U.S. without a permit. The infection can cause a rare type of meningitis, which has no specific treatment and can lead to serious complications such as paralysis, coma, and death, according to the CDC. Most people infected fully recover without treatment. Now, the eradication program will treat properties in the quarantine zone with a metaldehyde-based snail bait. A major pharmacy chain has rescinded a policy on emergency contraceptives. CVS pharmacies have lifted purchase limits on Plan B pills. The pharmacy chain had placed limits on the morning after contraceptives to ensure equitable access. Last week, the Supreme Court struck down the Roe v. Wade abortion decision, creating a rush for the product. The company says sales have returned to normal. Emergency contraceptives differ from abortion pills and do not require a prescription. Edibles and drinks with a limited amount of THC are now available for sale in Minnesota. A new state law to make it legal went into effect on Friday. THC is the ingredient in marijuana that creates a high. Minnesota's new law regulates packaging and sale of the products. It also governs their makeup, with each serving holding no more than 5 milligrams of THC, a limit of 50 milligrams per package. There are also requirements for child-proof packaging. Minnesota Senate Republicans blocked a bill this year that would have legalized marijuana. The use of industrial hemp has taken off over the past decade. Minnesota farmers have planted the 5th most acres of hemp in the U.S. Well, how often do you enjoy an alcoholic drink? If you classify yourself as a moderate drinker, there's a better than 50-50 chance you'll engage in binge drinking. A new study finds moderate drinkers, defined as having a drink a day over a week's time, account for more than 70% of binge drinking cases. That may show many people are drinking a week's worth of alcohol in one sitting, which is 5 drinks or more. The American Journal of Preventive Medicine Studies co-author says a focus on average consumption by itself hides underlying drinking patterns. More than 1,200 drinkers ages 30 and older were studied first in 2004 to 2005 and again from 2015 to 2016. Moderate and heavy drinkers were separated. Over the time frame, researchers found moderate drinkers made up nearly 80% of those with alcohol problems. Those in the group binge drinking had a 5 times better chance of developing alcohol-related health issues. The takeaway, problems are tied more to how much a person drinks rather than how often. Researchers say public health efforts need to focus on moderate drinkers. New York City is expanding its COVID-19 testing. Mayor Eric Adams announced New Yorkers can now get tested at mobile sites should a test come back positive. They can also be given a prescription for the antiviral Paxlovid. Some mobile units will be able to hand the treatment to patients directly. Right now, there are 3 mobile units set up. City expects to have 30 sites operational by the end of the summer. That would allow them to test 6,000 people and offer 600 treatments a day. Well, after the forecast, a Virgin Orbit rocket launched into space on Friday night. We'll tell you what it was carrying.
Some spots had to deal with a lot of cloud cover and even some scattered rain and storms to start the day out. Then a lot of us gravitated toward at least a quiet afternoon and early evening. So our Saturday has been a bit eventful for some, but despite all of that, we've seen temperatures range from the, let's say, the mid 80s in our northern counties back into the lower 90s across much of our southern counties, mainly south of US 400. In terms of what has fallen so far, when you take into account this morning's rain and even what's trying to fire up this evening, averaging out to 0.4 of an inch of rain across the entire area. The bulk of the rain from this morning, though, certainly favored our northern counties, but throughout the evening, we've been really noticing some widely scattered storms flaring up from our far western counties back down to the northeast Oklahoma and staying mainly south of Interstate 44. None of these have really pushed severe limits, but as these storms continue to flare up, this will be the overall trend as we go through the overnight hours, mainly strong storms at their strongest. Not expecting anything severe, still something we'll watch, something that will be around for sure as we go through the overnight. For now, though, it's quiet in Joplin with a temperature of 83, northeast breeze at 10. But it feels like 88 with the dew point sitting in the lower 70s. We may have some upper 70s on the board north of US 54. Everyone, though, mainly upper 70s to lower 80s right now. The humidity out there, this is not resulting in any rain or storms, still making it feel like in some spots the mid to upper 80s late on this Saturday night. Breaking down the overall setup for you, we have our scattered storms trying to flare up on top of us once again because our stationary front still parked right on top of us. The same front that gave some of you some morning rain and thunderstorms. And what's also aiding in those rain chances, just subtle upper level energy riding along the jet. But as we go past the 4th of July, though, the jet in the front will lift back north. This upper level ridge is really going to build in, and that is really going to keep us hot, and certainly as we go through the middle of the coming week. In the short term, though, we'll just deal with our widely scattered storms going through the overnight, and even towards sunrise. You can see how they might favor our northern counties again by the time we get to sunrise, but still, I expect everyone to drop back into the lower 70s. Partly sunny to sometimes mostly cloudy skies, but I think a little bit of a lull in any rain chances by midday. And then we'll deal with some widely scattered thunderstorms again as we go into your Sunday afternoon. Despite the clouds and the rain chances, I still think we'll end up with a kind of a hot day on our hands here. 73 in the morning, 88 by noon. I'm expecting highs to top out around 93. Then as we fast forward through the rest of Sunday night, Monday morning, the front's going to lift back north. Well, that means a dry start to your 4th of July Monday morning and staying dry throughout the 4th, even with some afternoon partly sunny skies. That is going to set the tone for a quiet 4th, thankfully, but temperatures with that lifting front back to the north, it's going to take us from 74 in the morning to 91 by noon and highs near 97. And as far as nighttime temperatures, as we break down the 7-day forecast, we'll still be in the 80s as we go into 4th of July night. So warm, but at least we'll be dry for any outdoor plans. Unfortunately, The upper level ridge really builds in, Chris. That means highs at least around 100, if not a little above it. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and hopefully a little break from the heat with some rain chances by next Saturday.
Nick, thank you. Coming up, there's already meatless meat, but what about beanless coffee? Our new antenna that weighs 12.5 tons is now at the top of our tower. That is video of it going up there. For now, we're still broadcasting from a temporary antenna. It's lower on the tower and doesn't have as much power. This is as we prepare to transition to that much more powerful transmitter. So our signal, as we know, has become a little glitchy for some of you. Some of you also, we know you've lost our signal, but when this project is finished, we're going to be broadcasting with more power than ever. You can keep up on the progress at KOAMNewsNow.com/power. A Virgin Orbit rocket launched into space on Friday night from the Mojave Desert in Southern California. The modified jumbo jet was carrying U.S. Defense Department satellites. It was Virgin Orbit's fourth commercial launch and first night launch. Virgin Orbit named the mission Straight Up after the hit on Paula Abdul's debut studio album, Forever Your Girl, which was released through Virgin Records in 1988. Later this year, the company will launch 2 satellites on a mission flying out of a Newquay airport in England. The satellites will conduct radio signal monitoring tests in a joint project of the United Kingdom's Ministry of Defense and the U.S. National Reconnaissance Office. Well, pretty soon, you may have a date with a morning coffee that's not from the coffee bean. If you've done meatless meat, why not do coffee beanless coffee? A Tomo Coffee plant-based coffee substitute could challenge the coffee industry. Atomo makes a cold brew coffee made from upcycled date seeds with a grape, chicory, tea-sourced caffeine, and other flavors. Tomo claims it's more environmentally friendly than coffee and uses less water and wins 2-to-1 in blind taste tests. An electric car maker faces a new lawsuit alleging racial abuse. 15 former and current black Tesla employees are suing the company, alleging racial abuse and harassment. The workers say they were regularly subjected to derogatory racial comments by colleagues, managers, and human resources employees in its California production facilities. Tesla is facing at least 10 discrimination suits. The company says they have regularly dismissed employees for misconduct and have rolled out new training programs to reinforce conduct requirements. A British company is making electric trucks with a hydrogen cell component for heavy goods use. Teva is launching a hydrogen-electric HGV, or heavy goods vehicle, for hauling cargo and heavy materials in Great Britain. Now, Teva says its new technology should deliver zero emissions across a range of industries. Hydrogen cell added to the battery will boost vehicle ranges to carry freight over longer distances. The vehicle has a range of up to 310 miles, and refueling can be done in 5 to 20 minutes. We're going to wrap up this half hour of the News at 9 with what America's most popular restaurant is. One restaurant continues its winning streak as America's most popular chain. Chick-fil-A has been named America's most popular restaurant for the 8th year in a row. A customer satisfaction survey says Chick-fil-A remained the most popular with a score of 83, the highest score in the industry. Despite Americans preferring full-service restaurants to fast food, full-service restaurants maintained its 80 score from last year. Fast food happiness fell off by 2.6% over the last year. So, Peyton, I've got to ask you, have you been to Chick-fil-A?
I have, yes.
Do you enjoy Chick-fil-A?
I do.
See, I have been through their drive-thru, but I cannot remember the last time I ate Chick-fil-A food. It's been a minute.
It definitely has been a minute for me, too.
We'll have to give it a try sometime. Maybe the station can buy us some Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
All right, we'll see what we can do. Peyton, thank you, and thank you. And guess what? We've got 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way when the News at 9 returns. Right now at 9:30, families of 3 teenagers who traveled among the dozens of people abandoned in a trailer holding on to hope that those teens aren't among the dead. Plus, another large retail business will cover abortion costs for its employees. And flying might cost you time and money, but hitting the road this holiday weekend, that's turning out to be no bargain either. The KOAM News at 9 continues right now. Thanks for staying with us tonight. I'm Chris Warner. Families of 3 teenagers who traveled among the dozens of people abandoned in a trailer in Houston, Texas, are coming together to pray and hope their teens aren't among the dead. Outside the Olivares family's 2-story homes, they prayed for Giovanni and Yair Valencia and their cousin, 16-year-old Miziel Olivares Monterde. 53 of the migrants left in the sweltering heat in San Antonio died as of Friday, while others remain hospitalized. Loved ones say the wait for confirmation has been agonizing for families from Mexico to Honduras. Candles burn at a makeshift altar at the home where the parents of 19-year-old Yair and 16-year-old Giovanni hope for a miracle. Families say the teens wanted to work, save up money, and return to open their own clothing and shoe store. A new gun law is on the books in the Empire State. New York State Assembly passed a law Friday preventing gun carrying in some sensitive public places like Times Square. New gun applicants must also prove shooting proficiency and submit social media accounts for government review. A Supreme Court ruling struck down a previous New York law restricting people carrying weapons in public for self-defense. Restricted places include government buildings, medical facilities, places of worship, public parks and transit, polling places, and stadiums. Another large retail business will cover abortion costs for its employees. Target says it will pick up costs for women who have to travel to other states to obtain abortions if their state bans the procedures. Company says the policy will begin this month, but didn't say if reimbursements have a dollar limit. The decision comes following last week's Supreme Court ruling striking down the landmark 1973 Roe v. Wade case, granting federal rights for abortions and sending abortion rights back to the states to decide. It was another warm one today, and maybe some of us saw even some showers. Nick Kelly joining us.
For the vast majority that did see the rain, Chris, it really helped out with temperatures. We were pushing mid-90s the other day. Joplin Regional only topped out at 92 this afternoon, a bit of an improvement after we saw it at 75. But areas that saw the rain and quite a bit of cloud cover this morning resulted in highs today only topping out in the 80s. It's going to be a short-lived little break in the heat, though, as we continue on with the forecast period. But throughout the evening, I've been keeping an eye on widely scattered storms that are really fired up in our far western and southern counties in terms of our viewing area. But these are rain chances that will continue overnight, actually, because our stalled out front that gave us some rain and storms this morning still parked right on top of us. That's going to do the same as we go into the overnight hours. So widely scattered storms, nothing too strong expected, with lows dropping back near 73. I think a little break around midday before we see additional widely scattered storms in the afternoon, Chris. It's going to be another hot one, though, for most with highs near 92. We're going to trend drier for the week ahead, but also hotter for the week ahead. Numbers, we'll break it down for everyone here in a few.
All right, Nick, thank you. Well, flying might cost you time and money, but hitting the road this holiday weekend, that's no bargain either. AAA says the average price of a gallon of gas is $4.82, and state gas taxes are driving it even higher. Fox News senior correspondent Claudia Cowan is in Los Angeles with more.
Despite really high gas prices, $6.59 a gallon here at this gas station in Los Angeles, you really do get the sense that people are so ready to take a road trip. They want to make it to that barbecue. They want to see their friends and family. They don't want to miss the fun. And this year, with the 4th of July falling on a Monday, well, that's setting up a 3-day weekend for a lot of folks. And AAA is predicting nearly 48 million Americans will travel at least 50 miles or more from home, with the vast majority, 42 million, driving. And that is setting a new record. Part of the reason, folks see what's happening at the airports, and they're saying no thanks. Travel experts say many Americans are weighing the pros and cons of flying and deciding that even a long-haul road trip is just less hassle.
They are still dealing with a lot of shortages, a lot of that being residual from the pandemic era. And so that could play into people's decision-making, whether to choose to fly or drive to their destination. I think a lot of people are really taking that into consideration. And they're probably evaluating maybe, a 4-hour drive is an easier route to take than possibly being canceled or delayed and waiting hours at the airport.
Just in time for all those road trips, half a dozen states have raised their gas taxes, including California, by 3 cents, bringing the average cost here in the Golden State to $6.27 a gallon, way above the national average of $4.82. If you are among the tens of millions hitting the road, police across the country will be conducting sobriety checkpoints. Keep that in mind, along with the best times to leave or stay put. Between noon and 9 p.m. would be the worst time to travel, according to AAA. And as for heading back, if you can leave on Monday while people are still celebrating the 4th of July holiday, you can expect a lot less congestion and safer roads. In Los Angeles, Claudia Cowan, Fox News.
Up next, a tragedy in Kentucky as 3 police officers and a police dog are killed in a shootout. A tragedy in Kentucky. 3 police officers and a police dog killed in a shootout about 190 miles east of Louisville. It happened as they were serving an arrest warrant. The suspect also wounded at least 4 officers and a civilian. Fox News correspondent Charles Watson has the latest.
The suspect in this case, 49-year-old Lance Storrs, was arraigned in court on Friday and pleaded not guilty to multiple counts of murder and assault of a service animal following a deadly shootout with police in Allen, Kentucky on Thursday. The sheriff in nearby Floyd County saying the 4 officers who initially responded to the scene had no chance as they approached Storrs' home to serve a warrant. Authorities say the 49-year-old suspect almost immediately began firing a rifle from multiple positions inside of his home, killing 3 officers, a police dog, and wounding at least 4 responding officers and 1 civilian in an hours-long shootout.
Received a call for an officer assist for a shots fired complaint. They responded out here. That situation turned into an active shooter.
Following hundreds of shots fired and negotiations, authorities say Storrs did finally surrender, allegedly leaving behind a scene of carnage. According to Kentucky State Police, among the deceased is Captain Ralph Frazier, who commanded the Prestonsburg Police Department Special Projects Division, Officer Jacob Chafin, and his K-9 Drago, a duo the city of Prestonsburg says was nationally certified in drug detection, tracking, and apprehension, and Sheriff Deputy William Petrie. On Friday, Kentucky Governor Andy Bashar called the officer's death, quote, tragic news. He went on to say in this tweet, Brittany and I are praying for the families of those lost, those injured, and the entire Allen community. These heroes sacrifice everything to protect our people. In Atlanta, Charles Watson, Fox News.
We're going to be right back with Nick and a complete look at the forecast.
A good number of us, especially on the northern counties, actually had kind of an active start to the day where if we take the Skywatch storm tracker in front of your eyes there, you can see how we had that advertised batch of rain and storms clipping on northern counties during the overnight and to get your Saturday morning started. If you saw any of that action, that helped you out with temperatures. We'll show you how coming up here. But that part of the viewing area picked up the brunt of any accumulating rain that we've seen so far today. The area-wide average might be 0.4 of an inch, including what we're trying to see continue to develop across some of our southern counties this evening. But the bulk of the rain this morning, again, favoring areas along and north of US 54. Throughout the late evening hours, though, certainly as we go deeper into the night, we're starting to see these scattered storms really trying to flare up once again. Thankfully, not going to get too rambunctious, but even at their strongest, they're only going to drift slowly toward the east, sometimes southeast at times. And even at their strongest, all they're going to do is maybe some moderate to heavy pockets of rain, maybe some small hail, maybe some brief gusty winds. We're not really expecting anything severe, but it's still something I'll watch as we go throughout the course of the overnight hours. You can see how quiet we look from 7th and range line. And as far as temperatures go, we had temperatures back at 9:39, still holding on in the upper 70s to lower 80s all across the board. And with the humidity out there, if it's not resulting in any storms where you are, so making it feel like the mid to upper 80s still, even though we have gotten past sunset. Why are we seeing rain chances trying to flare up once again? At the surface, our stationary front, the same front that brought some of you the morning rounds of rain and thunderstorms. This is doing the same thing again as we go through the overnight. Plus, we've got just a little upper level energy riding along the jet parked right on top of us. But going over the next few days, the front that I showed you and the jet itself both will lift back north. That's going to lead toward a drier overall setup for next week. But that allows the upper ridge to really build back in, and that is going to mean a hot stretch that we all need to be ready for as we go into next week. In the short term, though, we'll keep things pretty, let's say, partly to mostly cloudy during the overnight. And again, those widely scattered storms will be out there. Some will fire up and flare away, while others will continue to develop, certainly by sunrise. But again, not expecting anything too rambunctious as we drop back into the lower 70s. I think we'll get a little bit of a break in our rain chances by midday. Then as we go into the afternoon, you can see how we'll have some additional widely scattered storms trying to pop up once again. Still, despite all that, I think we'll go from 73 in the morning, 88 by noon. Joplin should top out around 93. In fact, I think everyone goes at least into the lower 90s for your Sunday afternoon. Then as the front and the jet lift back north, that means dry for your Monday morning and dry for the 4th overall. But even with partly sunny skies, that is setting the stage for kind of a hot 4th of July this go around. Even though we're dry, we'll go from 74 in the morning, 91 by noon, and we'll hit 97 for your Monday afternoon for your 4th this time around. But going beyond the 4th holiday, this upper level ridge really sets the tone for how we'll stay dry throughout much of next week until we probably get some minor rain chances back in here by next weekend. But underneath that ridge, that'll take us from 97 on Monday, lows in the upper 70s to near 80 Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and even on Friday. And highs during that stretch crisp, pushing 100, if not a little bit hotter, with some humidity, making it feel like the middle triple digits as well.
Nick, thank you. Coming up in sports, the St. Louis Cardinals get the bats going early against the Phillies. Plus, McDonald County aims to finish pool play undefeated in the Heart of America Firecracker Showcase. We'll have those highlights right after this.
Today is the final day of the Heart of America Firecracker Showcase in Southwest Missouri. Now, in the 18 and under division, the McDonald County Mustangs are 3-0 in their first 3 games. Now, the Mustangs on the field this afternoon against Carl Junction, aiming to finish the tournament undefeated. Now, starting off bottom of the first, Tucker Walters on second. The pitch is a strike, but Walters showing the speed. Swipes third. Now, right after that, runners on the corners. Isaac Bem on first, takes off and steals second. So that puts 2 runners in scoring position for Weston Gordon. Now Gordon would deliver, drops it into the grass. Well, turf, but you know what I mean. Walters is in. The game is tied at 1. Then Destin Dowd gives McDonald County the lead. Same inning. He grounds to short. Good enough to get the runner in from third. Mustangs have their first lead, and they would extend it. McDonald County takes down Carl Junction in this one 7-3. The Joplin Outlaws are off tonight. Here's a look at where they stand right now in the Mink League South Division. After dropping back-to-back games to Sedalia, Outlaws are now in second place in the division behind the Bombers with an 11-14 overall record. Joplin is 4-6 in the last 10. They'll be back in action tomorrow night at Nevada. The Griffins, by the way, are in 4th place, but they've won 3 in a row and 4 out of their 5 meetings with the Outlaws this season. The St. Louis Cardinals face the Philadelphia Phillies for Game 2 of their 4-game series this afternoon. The Cards dropped Game 1 last night 5-3. St. Louis trying to even the series today. The bats got hot early, no joke. Nolan Arenado with a runner on. 2-run homer. Cards lead 2-0. The next batter, different Nolan, same result. Nolan Gorman, solo home run, his 7th of the season. Next batter, Juan Yepez, also takes Kyle Gibson deep. That's 3 in a row for the Cardinals. It is 4-0, but wait, for real, Dylan Carlson, he did it too. 4 in a row for the Cardinals. Just the 11th time in Major League history a team has done that. They almost blew it. It's tied in the 9th, but Arenado saves the day. Another homer here, his 17th of the year. Cardinals win a fun one today, 7-6. In the American League, the Royals on the field against the Tigers tonight, trying to secure the series victory after winning Game 1 last night. Hunter Dozier into left for the double. 2-run score, Royals lead at 2-0. On to the 4th now, Whit Merrifield finds some grass here. RBI single. At that point, it's 3-1 Kansas City. And how about some defense? Bobby Witt Jr., it's kind of becoming normal for him. Nice diving stop and throw from his knees. Royals, we're up 3-2 going to the 9th. But I think you know where this is going. In the 9th, Victor Reyes makes it a tie game. Solo home run. His first of the season makes it 3-3. Now, very next batter, it's Riley Green. To the deepest part of the park here, he ends it with the walk-off homer. That's actually his first career home run. Tigers knock off the Royals today, 4-3. Well, the USFL Championship game is tomorrow right here on Fox 14. As we go to break, here's Fox's Joel Klatt with a preview of the USFL season finale.
Well, it all comes down to Sunday. The USFL Championship is finally here. The Philadelphia Stars and the Birmingham Stallions. They're going to knock it around on July 3rd. How about that win for Philadelphia in the semifinal? This team feels like a team of destiny. After getting off to a rough start, they've certainly been one of the best teams in the league here in the back half of the year. And how about being one of the best teams for the entirety of the year? It was 8 straight wins to start things off for the Birmingham Stallions. Jamar Smith, Victor Bolden, these guys are electric players, and it should be a fantastic night.
The annual PBS holiday celebration, a Capitol 4th, returns live in person this year. The night brings a special tribute to servicemen and women, a genre-spanning lineup, a fireworks spectacular, and it's all hosted by country star Mickey Guyton, who joined us for a preview. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
Country superstar Mickey Guyton leads an all-star lineup on a Capitol 4th live from Washington, D.C.
I never thought that hosting would be a part of my career, and it's just been amazing. And there's going to be so many incredible artists at this event that's going to make it so special. Jake Owen, Yolanda Adams, Kevmo, Rachel Platt and Cheetah Rivera, Cynthia Erivo, and Gloria Gaynor.
Guyton's also excited as an audience member.
I'm bringing my 16-month-old son, and I really want him to just see the fireworks and be a part of that.
She hopes it's a night of entertainment and togetherness.
We're finally able to be together in person, and so much has gone on with the pandemic and our country, and it's so important for togetherness right now. And that's something that I'm really, really excited about. What makes this country so great is we're all from so many different backgrounds and cultures, and we get to come together on this day, and I'm excited about that.
Guyton has had many big milestones the past couple years, one of course in particular having the biggest impact on her.
Singing the national anthem at the Super Bowl was something that was really, really a special moment for me. Being nominated for Grammys and country categories was something beautiful for me, but honestly, nothing really tops my son. Like, so many incredible things have happened, but my son, like, he just takes the cake.
Up next, new music is on the way, and right now she's ready to take center stage again.
Get my mind frame in like entertaining and making everybody feel good and loved.
A Capitol 4th airs on PBS and the American Forces Network. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Oh, it's hard to believe the 4th of July is already here. It means we are, already halfway through this year.
Yes, it just seems like cliche, but you just can't help but say the year's flying by.
It always seems like it does. And honestly, compared to the last couple of years, this year is flying by. The last couple of years were probably the longest 2 years we've had in a while. And this year is promising to be pretty darn toasty for most of us.
Yeah, at least in terms of the 4th of July. We've had some forests where we've lucked out with temperatures not running so hot, but after tomorrow's high of 92 with the stationary front still giving us some scattered thunderstorm chances, the front lifts back north. While it does leave us dry for the 4th, it's going to go from lows in the mid-70s to topping out at 97. Then at least 100 degrees Tuesday through Friday of next week. And hopefully Chris will break in the ridge and another frontal system could drop us back at least into the lower 90s and give us maybe some isolated thunderstorm chances by next Saturday.
I just can't believe those overnight lows, 79, 80 degrees as overnight lows. It's just kind of crazy how the weather around here works.
Yeah, we're going to have to find maybe some creative ways to stay cool even during the nighttime to come.
Yeah, Nick, thank you so much. That's our time for now. We'll be back here tomorrow night, and thanks so much for making us part of your night.